Hello and welcome to episode 67 of the ABC podcast. My name is Alex and I am not joined by Brandon. He could not be here today, unfortunately. He's all tied up with res life stuff. So I called in the backup squad. I have Vincent here once again.
Hello!
And fan favorite Armando.
What's going on?
And Robin's sitting in the corner minding her own business.
Chirp, chirp.
So this is probably the weirdest setup we've ever had. We're at Vincent's new apartment, which we'll talk about more in a little bit. But Vincent and I are sitting on stools. Armando's laying on the bed. Robin's literally sitting in the corner on a giant Snorlax beanbag chair. And I have no idea what this sound quality is going to sound like. So if it sounds good, then you're welcome. If not, I apologize in advance. But we're just going to go with it. It feels really weird to... normally I'm eye level with the microphone, and now I'm towering over it. It's very strange. But so before we talk about what we've been up to, just really quickly, full disclosure, I have no idea when this episode is going to go up. I'm moving very, very soon, so I don't know when I have time to get this edited and uploaded and everything. So just... it'll come out when it comes out. If there's a chance I might be able to get it done tonight and have it all taken care of by the morning, but don't count on that. So anyway, that's some inside baseball for you, and we'll talk a little bit more about things of that nature at the end of the show. But anyway, enough with all of the boring stuff out of the way. Vincent.
Yeah.
You are a big boy now. You have your own place.
I am a big boy now. We're coming live from my new place.
So... yeah, new school, new year, new you.
Yeah, that's right. I am living alone, and I've never lived alone in my life. And so the first couple of nights were pretty scary. I haven't slept very much. It's been an adjustment, but I'm really excited. And I get to have friends over like this and host the podcast, which is really cool.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, right on.
Right on.
Armando, anything new with you?
Let's see. What happened since last time? No.
Okay.
My part-time job now has gone to a little over part-time. Instead of 3 days, it's 4.
Right on.
Chirp, chirp. Yeah.
Let's see. I've been procrastinating, taking care of everything I need to move. Robin's been doing, most of the important stuff. So... That's cool.
Yep.
We went to Galveston this weekend as our last minute vacation before we leave. It was okay. We stayed at this little it's not a hotel. It's like a condo complex that you rent for however long. It was fine. The weather wasn't too great, but I was playing Pokémon GO while I was there. And it was like paradise. It was there was so many Pokemon there that I don't see at home. I think I only caught one Mankey and one Machop, but I saw more I could have gotten to if someone had been willing to drive there. But there was so many Magnemite and Voltorb down there. It was ridiculous.
Dang.
Yeah. So, pro tip for anybody who still plays Pokemon Go and lives in the Houston area, take a trip down to Galveston. You won't regret it. But
I would imagine a Lapras down there. No,
you would think
or
so,
Gyarados.
but no.
Oh, Gyarados.
There were a bunch of Magikarp, way more than I see here.
Boom. Port cities.
Yeah, I'm really maybe excited is a strong word, but curious to see what I'll get after I move up north.
No, you're excited.
Well, a little excited.
Watch it be just a bunch of still Rattata. Just a bunch of Rattata.
Just a bunch of Mews. So many Mews get bored of them.
Oh, yeah.
They're more rude.
But yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on with me. Just a lot of packing and
Pokemon Go.
signing paperwork. Yeah.
That's adulting for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that brings us to the ABCs of Geekdom segment. Normally I would let my guests choose, but since this is the end of the cycle, I decided to be selfish and just pick for myself. But I think it'll be a good topic. So this is the letter Z, Zen cycle, like I said. So in the spirit of playing so much Pokemon Go, and incidentally, this Pokemon is coming to Pokemon Go in raids, like now, basically. We're going to talk about Zapdos.
Zapdos! The Latino Pokemon.
That makes sense. That's why I liked it when I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
What are we going to talk about with Zapdos?
It's in the shape of Mexico. If you see it on an angle, it's great. It's got those ridges, edges. I like Articuno. That's Canada.
We're talking about Zapdos, not women you're into.
¿Por qué no los dos?
So yeah, Zapdos is, I think, a cool Pokemon. He's one of the 3 legendary birds of Kanto. Electric flying type. The ability, his hidden ability is Lightning Rod, and his main ability is Pressure. But that's all boring competitive stuff no one really cares about.
I agree.
So he's a giant yellow bird. Is the thing, not to be confused with Big Bird from Sesame Street, but they could be like cousins or something.
Maybe.
It's like that cousin that's works in New York and the cousin that's got stuck in the plants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, remember
with a bunch of kids.
Okay. I never got the typing flying electric because he's double weak to himself.
No, that would make him neutral. And
Makes him
he would,
neutral?
he'd be neutral to electric typing unless he has Lightning Rod, in which case he'd be immune, and he resists flying because of electric type. So,
well, I just got schooled.
I'm not prepared for this conversation.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of good people that work in plants. I feel bad about that comment.
He retracts that statement. You can get the legendary birds on Pokemon Go, can't you?
You can now. So a couple weeks ago, Brandon talked about it on that episode that I wasn't on, but they had an event in Chicago where they got like a whole bunch of people. They estimated about 20,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
And it was kind of a nightmare because there were so many people in such a concentrated area. Like all the cell towers like went down. They couldn't play the game. But so they came out with the legendary birds in raids. Do you know about the raiding system in Pokemon Go?
As far as the mechanics, no, but raids. Does that pertain to like the events that they do, where it's like everyone convenes in one location to get the same Pokemon?
Yeah. So they're live. It's like random parts. It's not just the legendary birds. They have a bunch of different Pokemon, but right now, for limited time, it's for a week each. The 3 legendary birds. So Articuno was first, and that ended. Moltres was second, which is weird. Why would they do it out of order? I just realized that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so Moltres was second. That was from last Monday to today, and then Zapdos is rolling out today until next Monday.
Until next Monday?
Yeah.
And then do they have any scheduled for after that, or is it just...
as of right now, no. But Lugia raids are also live, which I think are more rare than the legendary birds. I've only seen a handful of Lugia.
Yeah.
But they haven't said anything about Mewtwo or Mew or Ho-Oh or Celebi. Those are all of the like super rare. Or the 3 legendary dogs or beasts, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. They haven't said anything about those, so we'll see how that goes.
All these cell towers going down, they're probably gonna... I don't know how they're going to handle that. It's too many people all at once.
So is there certain geographical locations that they can be found? What do you mean?
So there's like different points set up like in the real world in the game that are designated as either Pokestops, which you just go to get more items. Yeah. And then there's gyms, which you can work as a team to defeat and maintain and whatever. Yeah. And so at the gyms... few times a day, like randomly, a Pokemon, like a super strong Pokemon will appear at the gym as a raid. And then you work as a team to beat the Pokemon. When you beat it, then you get a chance to capture it. And,
as a team?
Yeah. Oh, so and it's not just, so there's 3 teams in Pokemon Go. There's Team Valor, which is represented by Moltres, Team Instinct, which is represented by Zapdos, and Team Mystic, which is represented by Articuno. And for raids, you can work with any team. Like, it's free for all. Everybody joins in to try and take down the raid Pokemon.
And everybody gets the Pokemon?
you have a chance. If you beat the Pokemon, like you take out all its
Uh-huh.
health, you have a chance to catch it. It's not a guarantee.
Well, I like Zapdos. Zapdos really was my favorite legendary flying Pokemon. But for some reason, I'm thinking about it. For some reason, I chose Team Instinct when I did Pokemon Go. I couldn't play the...
That's Zapdos. Is Team Instinct.
I'm sorry, the blue one.
Oh, Team Mystic.
Mystic.
Uh-huh.
I think I chose Mystic too.
Oh, I chose Team Valor.
Oh, we have a little bit of conflict on the podcast today.
Robin chose Team Mystic, just for the record. I don't know what Team Brandon chose.
Oh, I don't know, probably something
I want to say it was Instinct, but I'm not positive.
instinctively. I think Brandon did.
I could see him going for Team Instinct.
I can.
Anyway, so Zapdos. Electric type. Probably my second favorite of the 3 legendary birds. I think Articuno wins out for me, just like design wise. Like competitively, it's considerably inferior. But I like Articuno for the same reason. But we're not here talking about Articuno. We're talking about Zapdos. So the main thing to talk about any of the legendary birds really is the second Pokemon movie, Pokemon the movie 2000. The Power of One.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have to say...
Right?
I think that was close.
That was
That's
it.
pretty
That
good.
was it. I promise you. That was it.
I would have to say that's the best Pokemon movie. I mean, the first one is really, really good. But I would say the second one was better.
It's like Shrek and Shrek 2.
Yeah.
First one was good. Second one was,
Yeah.
it's really good too.
Although my favorite Pokemon movie is Destiny Deoxys.
Oh yeah.
Although I've only seen it
Man.
the once, so I don't actually know if it.
That's when I stopped watching Pokemon. Anything before that. I think my last one was Pokemon Forever.
Okay.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Celebi.
Celebi.
Where he goes back in time and
Yeah.
your mind gets blown at the end of the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Or spoilers. Did I
Yeah.
say it? No?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Professor Oak is a little dude with an old school Pokeball.
Oh, that was my favorite part.
It's a Pokeball.
Yeah.
It's a clockwork Pokemon.
I've
That
never
was
seen
so
a more
funny.
ghetto Pokeball. That's way more advanced than anything we have.
But yeah, so the second movie, the main premise is there's this bad guy who has a name that I totally don't remember.
Like Dark or something.
Is he the guy in the blimp?
Yeah.
Or is that Forever?
He's just some dude dressed in black,
I don't
right?
think there's a blimp in
The
in that
Collector.
one.
Was that his name? No, that's...
He collects, but I don't think they actually call him that.
It's a Pokemon
like the-
Go player.
So anyway, so he's obsessed with finding Lugia, and so he finds out that in order to do that, you have to knock like nature out of balance, and then Lugia will come back to like restore it. And so he does that by awakening the 3 legendary birds and then capturing them and torturing them, which then summons Lugia, and then he captures and tortures Lugia until Ash and friends do what they do and save the day. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in that movie. And I remember, I don't know what order they try and find the legendary birds, but so I know Articuno like does the whole ice beam thing and like freezes over the ocean, and then Zapdos is there and he like uses his Thunderbolt to like try and electrocute them all, and they like destroy a bunch of stuff and things get really bad, and then they end up on the bad guys like ship or whatever it was. It was like this really weird, like kind of looked like a space station almost.
It was a total blimp. It was totally a blimp.
No, it wasn't. It had like all these like fans and things all over.
fanny
It gets
blimp.
hot
It was
up there, man.
They end up there, and he has the birds captured in these weird like electromagnetic like metal cage things.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
really like didn't make any sense,
didn't.
but
They're
it's
huge Pokeballs. That's what a Pokeball is, but tiny.
yeah, basically. And so like there was one that was like squares that were rotating, one that was like circles, and the other one was probably triangle, I think.
Why didn't he put them in Pokeballs? They can never get
Because
them.
they're too hard to catch.
But he's got them in a cage.
Yeah, because that's easier than using a Pokeball.
What surface area?
Oh, duh.
Come on.
So anyway, and then Ash and Brock and Misty and Jesse and James use their Pokemon to like destroy the cages, and then the birds get out and they're like, okay, now they're going to help us, but they still try to kill Ash and everybody else.
Yeah.
And I really love that movie.
Do you remember the rhyme the collector guy used to say? fire, wind, and lightning, earth, and I forget. Something from which they passed.
No,
I remember the rhythm of what he said. I can't get the words.
It's like, I know now why the cage bird sings.
No.
Okay, Sweeney.
Sweet.
No, I do remember the rhyme that they tell Ash, what, like the prophecy or whatever, and then they're like, the world will turn to ash.
Oh, yeah!
Snap. But I wonder how that worked in the Japanese version.
Because in the Japanese version, his name is
Satoshi.
It was a whole different plot in
Satoshi,
Japanese.
yeah.
Isn't it? Oh, okay. It's Satoshi, I think. Because I've seen it.
You've seen it in Japanese.
I've seen it in Japanese with the English subs.
Yeah,
and whenever they say it, they go, Satoshi. But I think I'm not, I don't
Is that his
speak
name?
Japanese.
Who's Satoshi?
That's Ash.
Ash's name?
But I think literal ash is the same word. Like volcanic ash is Satoshi. But I don't know. I don't speak Japanese.
Well, because the guy who created Pokemon, his name is Satoshi or whatever.
Well, that's a little
Or-
narcissistic.
It's either him or the guy, like the CEO of Game Freak. I don't remember. But regardless. Because I always thought it was like... Because they're all named after trees, or at least the professors, and Ash, like an ash tree. So I always thought that's what it was about.
So he becomes a professor?
Well, if he ever grows up, he would.
What?
Oh, snap.
Kaplow! Blew your mind
Nintendo's
again.
going to break before that happens. When Ash grows up, you know Nintendo's going under.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, I mean, spoilers, but in Sun and Moon, like, you meet future Red. Well, you do in Silver, too. But it's way farther in the future in Sun and Moon.
Wait, but Red isn't Ash, right?
Well, I mean...
He's not.
Red fights
He's his
Ash.
own trainer.
What?
Oh, wait. I've watched so many YouTube videos. I think...
I don't think so.
I think they were talking about who'd be better, Ash or Red.
Yeah, but that's not canon.
Okay. I got nothing. I don't know.
But, okay, so 2000 was with the Boyds. My Boyd. And Lugia comes out, and Slowking's in that one, right? He's one of my favorites, but he's like, I think he's voiced by the same guy that does Yugi's voice in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Dan Green.
Yeah.
Dan Green.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Dan Green impressions.
Dan Green got gangrene.
Those are his vocal warm-ups.
On a hot summer day.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about the movie.
2000?
Yeah.
I don't... Did they... When it came out in theaters, did they give a promo card that came with it?
The Mew card.
Yeah, I have that
the
card
bad guy,
in my closet right
Wait,
now.
that was for the first movie, wasn't it?
No, because the bad guy in the movie, like, the first thing he ever that started his collection was this rare Mew card.
Yeah.
And then when you went to the theater, like, they handed it
They
out.
gave
And
you the
I
Mew
got
card.
one. I have no idea where it is.
I have a mint condition one in my closet as we speak.
And that's
Just
Is that how you're financing this whole...
It's not even worth anything. It's
really?
worth like 68 cents. It's worth
really?
nothing.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't. I don't mind that I lost mine. But yeah.
What about that girl that looked like a main character that's just gone forever?
Oh, like the island girl?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I thought she'd stick around, but
not.
Yep.
That's all I got. I can't remember that movie. Well, I can remember like half of it, but...
Oh, also, correction, I just remembered. So this was during, like, even though it has Lugia and Slowking in it, which are Johto Pokemon, this was during the Orange Island saga, which is in between Kanto and Johto. So I guess I don't know if the games had come out at that point, or maybe they're out in Japan but not in America, or maybe regardless, they're still on the Orange Islands in the anime, so that means Tracy would have been in the movie, not Brock.
Yeah,
so.
Tracy.
Slowking. Dumbest evolution ever.
What?
Right?
Where's that coming
That
from?
fish bites him in the head, he can talk. Bites him in the tail, he's slow, bro. Right?
That doesn't matter.
We gotta be looking at that fish, alright? Who
It's
cares
a
about...
Shelder.
Yeah, Shelder.
A Shelder?
The little one that turns into Cloyster.
Yeah, every person should have one of those on their head. Because that thing is magic.
And we get cool hats.
Cool hats.
I'm gonna go stick my head in Galveston after I catch some Machop and some Voltorbs and Magnemite.
Is there another evolution for that thing?
Nope.
No, it's just those two.
And the first one is Slowpoke, right?
Yeah. Well, Slowbro Mega evolves in
Mega Slowbro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mega Slowbro?
In
Yeah.
Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah, I'm way behind, y'all. Dang, I'm always unprepared for these. I'm sorry. I'm stuck back on Pokemon Sapphire. The original one.
A lot of people still are.
Actually, I don't even think most people got that far. Like, that's... Yeah. That was when a lot of people dropped off.
I dropped off
Gen.
around Silver.
I loved Silver. It had Lugia.
It's a good game.
Alright, so Lugia or Ho-Oh for y'all?
Oh, that's a good question. I am a firm Lugiite.
Is it Lugia or Lugia?
Lugia.
Lugia.
Okay.
I had Silver, but I think I have to go with Ho-Oh.
Ooh. Straight up Lugia.
I'm
So, okay, you're Valor and you're Ho-Oh.
this is the odd man out.
Let's see how this is going.
I mean, I like Lugia a lot. Lugia is cool. They both have really cool shinies. Lugia's shiny is actually probably a little bit cooler than Ho-Oh's, but I don't know. Ho-Oh's just Ho-Oh's pretty neat. Sacred Fire, awesome move. 50% chance to burn the opponent.
Was Ho-Oh was not in 2000, was he?
No. I actually don't think he's ever had a movie that revolved around him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the very first episode of the
Very
anime,
first
which is,
episode.
pretty important. But I don't think there's ever been a movie about him. He might have shown up in some other episodes of the anime.
Yeah, he just kind of shows up. Just like in the new movie that's coming out.
Oh,
Coming out with a new one, but you'll probably do a podcast on that too.
Yeah.
I won't even get into that.
Okay, backing off of the movie in the actual game. So in the original games, red, blue, green, yellow, you find Zapdos in the power plant, which I always thought was kind of cool, I guess. Like, I didn't really care for the power plant as a setting, personally. Like, it was kind of boring. Like, it was just a pretty linear maze, and then you get to the end, you get to Zapdos. And I remember one time I was playing it, because I played it a few times, I couldn't catch it. Like, I used every ball, and I hadn't, like, saved or whatever, and I just, like, had to kill it. And it was really depressing.
That's
Man,
sad.
that is very sad.
And then in Gold, Silver, Crystal, which canonically take place 3 years after the end of Red, Blue, Yellow, Green, you go back to the power plant, you find out that they've restored it, and there's like a side like plot story about you have to find it again, or you have to fix it up. But now, like, because Moltres moves, because it's not at Victory Road anymore, but Articuno I think is in the same place. But I don't remember how you get Zapdos, because I'm pretty sure you can catch it in that game.
Do you have to catch the other two first and have him in your team, and then he shows up at the power plant again?
No, because there's a bunch of people there. It wouldn't want to hang out there.
Yeah.
So Zapdos, it shows up at the power plant again. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh.
I don't know where it shows up in the game, or if it even shows up at all. Now that I think about it,
That's weird.
because now oh, that's right. No, now I remember. So if you don't know, after you beat the Johto League in the second gen games, you go back to Kanto, and it's mostly the same, but there's some differences. One of the things is that Cinnabar Island, which is where Blaine lives, the 7th gym leader, it's been burned down. Like, there was a volcano, and it's like gone. And so his gym is now in the Seafoam Islands, where Articuno is, or was in the first gen games. So Articuno's gone. Zapdos is definitely gone. I'm pretty sure Moltres is gone. Now I don't even remember. So yeah, it's a mystery, I guess.
It is a mystery.
Also, in the remakes of the first gen games, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Moltres is in a different location. It's on these weird side islands called the Sevi Islands, on this mountain called Mount Ember, I believe, instead of at Victory Road. And then I think that Zapdos and Articuno are still in the same place.
See, like, whenever it came to, like, even with the legendary dog / beast / Entei and all
Yeah,
them. You know, they like you walk in and they disperse.
Yeah.
Just like the birds, they disperse. Like I never ever found out how to catch all 3 of them.
Yeah, it was hard because they like roam around the map or whatever, and you have to, after you encounter them the first time, you can go in your Pokédex and you can see where they are. But then every time you move to a different route, like they'll move to a different route, so it's really like difficult. And then you have to like weaken them, and like if you get a status condition on them, it'll stay on them for the rest of the time. But then like if you kill them, then they're done. In the original games, I think now they'll respawn.
It got to the point where I'm pretty sure the Pokemon would move if you looked at the map. Because like there was like I got there, looked at the map, it was already somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I stayed there, looked at the map, never came back.
Yeah, I mean, I know that like there is a system, like there's a way to like because now with the internet, like you can look it up and like figure out how to approach them more easily. But like back then, like it was completely random, basically.
I use the internet to help me show how to approach people more easily.
How's that working?
It's not working.
You're only a teacher, right? For
I'm only a teacher. I went into the teaching profession just so I could beat people. No one wanted to talk to me.
I'm starting to think you teach online.
DeVry. Phoenix. Legendary bird. Anyways. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about Zapdos.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot. We went to Bubble Gump last night for dinner. It's the first time I'd ever been there.
Where's that? Okay, never mind. You said Galveston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very kitschy. It was very loud. All of the waiters were foreign, which I found interesting.
What kind of foreign?
Our guy, we didn't know. His name was Nacho, but
No, he was from Spain.
we didn't ask him.
No, we
They
didn't.
don't have nachos
Really?
in Spain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tim asked me. You don't
Oh,
remember?
no, I was listening. Okay, yeah, so
Listen
apparently
to
he
you.
was Spanish. And...
Or he just knew Spanish. Because that don't count.
No, he said he was from Spain.
He's lying.
Okay, well.
No lying. No Spaniard called Nacho.
and
Okay.
Anyway, so...
And here's my buddy Queso. Okay, go ahead.
Stop.
It was very kitschy. They really, really leaned hard into the whole Forrest Gump thing, which,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was like based on Forrest Gump, but I didn't think you could squeeze that much out of one movie.
Yeah.
Chain of restaurants. Anyway, the food is very overpriced,
Mm.
but I think it was the best shrimp I've ever had in my life.
What?
Like, it was delicious.
Nice.
Yeah, the fries were pretty good too.
Did you tip in chocolate?
No.
It's the kitchen.
What?
The kitchen.
Kitchen.
Because he said it was really... Never mind.
I thought he said kitchen at first.
No, he says it's
Do you
kitsch.
remember Dr.
Can I be
McNally?
honest? I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, Dr.
word is.
McNally.
What book was that we were reading when he was talking about that? It was that weird, like, had something to do with a stamp.
Lot 49.
Was that it? Yeah, that sounds
Lot
right.
something or
I remember
other.
I didn't finish reading that book. It was
Yeah.
Are you
so
talking about
dumb.
the word kitchen?
No, we're talking about the word kitsch at this point. It's like
Kitsch.
kitsch, like
Kitsch.
it's done, it's overdone, it's so like old. It's like it's.
I didn't
done.
want to sound ignorant, but my shame has gone down throughout the years. I did not know what the word kitsch was till
I didn't know
you
until
just
Dr.
explained it.
McNally's class.
Yeah.
He was like, he's like, it's kitsch. It's kitsch.
You had Sean Connery for a teacher?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, he's not as cool as Sean Connery.
He was a character, that
Yeah.
guy. Talking about how he had to drink brandy to grade the papers.
You know he wasn't joking.
Yeah, he probably wasn't joking, that guy. Yeah. Shout out to Dr. McNally. We love your class.
You sound really cool.
He is cool.
I did read The Sun Also Rises. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Hemingway.
Yeah, and so Vincent gave me the best title for a paper I ever wrote.
What did I say?
I wrote about how they all drink in the book, like in every important scene, like they're always drinking,
Uh-huh.
and I titled it
Life
A
lesson.
Liver's Lament.
Oh, nice.
And I got an A on that paper.
Hey! He just read the title.
Yeah,
and
he
just
did.
scribbled that
I was gonna say he
A.
didn't
He
read
was
past the
drunk at
title.
that point anyway. He stole the brandy. Yeah.
Had a doctor's appointment after that. A Liver's Lament.
Yeah,
New band name.
New band. New band.
that would be a good band name,
Liver's
actually.
Lament.
You heard livers look. I can't say it. Livers
Livers
lament.
Say it 10 times really fast.
Their new song.
It's called
Man, I'm stuck.
I'm stuck too.
You gotta edit
We're
the
done.
pause
We're
here.
dropping. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's it for our ABCs of Geekdom segments. I found it enjoyable. I might have been the only one.
No.
ABCs. Oh wait, no, that means boring. Sorry, ABCs. You're right.
ABZ?
Yeah, Z's. I said, but that means sleeping.
Aziz.
I'm sorry.
Aziz Ansari. Gesundheit.
Achoo.
Alright, so that means it's time for the correction segment. So, first thing is, we talked about Yosemite Sam on last week's ABCs of Geekdom segment. And I was talking about the new DC cross Looney Tunes comics that they've been coming out with.
What?
So, just really quickly. So, I don't remember which
Milking
ones we did and didn't mention. So, there's Batman and Elmer Fudd, Wonder Woman and Tasmanian Devil, which
I can see them together.
the website that I was reading, like, it just had a short description, and what they were describing for that one I found really interesting. It was basically it was like one of like Hercules' labors that she had, like that, like where she had to go slay the Tasmanian Devil, like to prove like something.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Plot twist: they fall in love. Right?
I hope not.
What word did he say? Does he say anything? He
says-
just grunts.
He
right?
just goes like, "Ah."
You couldn't have said it better.
You had me at.
The third one, which I mentioned last week, like as a joke, but it turns out it's actually true, is Jonah Hex with Yosemite Sam.
Oh my gosh.
And then Lobo with Wile E. Coyote / Roadrunner,
Mm-hmm.
Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian, and then Legion of Superheroes with Bugs Bunny.
Those actually seem like pretty interesting crossovers,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Yeah,
I would actually read that.
Yeah.
Legion of which one?
Superheroes.
Who's that entail?
So that's in the 25th century.
Oh.
And
okay.
there's a bunch of heroes, like none of them are like really household names. There's Lightning Lad, Saturn Girl, Bouncing Boy,
Yeah.
Brainiac 5. I don't know if any of those are ringing a bell.
No, you could probably stop there. I have no idea. I'd have thought some main like Superman versus Bugs Bunny.
They're not
Well,
around.
so in, I don't know how true this is to the comics, but there was a cartoon on Kids WB back in the day. And the premise of that was that they take Superman from before he becomes Superman. So, like, when he's still living in Smallville, they take him to the future to help, because they need his help to defeat some bad guys. And then he stays there to, like, you know, train with them and, like, learn how to control his powers and whatnot. And in this new comic, they are basically doing the same thing, but instead of Superman, it's Bugs Bunny dressed up as Superman, and they like get the wrong guy, and they like just say,
funny.
"Okay, whatever, we'll just make this work."
It's just a spoof. That's funny.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Then we talked, because we're talking about Yosemite Sam. We're talking about Loonatics Unleashed. I don't know. Did you guys ever watch that show?
Lunatics
What was it?
Unleashed. It was a take on Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. So this is also set in the future. Where 6 Looney Tunes, it's like the descendants of Looney Tunes characters. So it's Bugs, Lola, Taz, Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner, and Daffy Duck. And they all have superpowers. They're like a superhero team. It's a really good show. Like I really enjoyed that show. I watched it when I was working at admissions again, and it still holds up. So that's recommend from me.
I remember that.
Anyway, so
Like Young Justice good?
not quite that good,
Oh.
but
The Looney Tunes version of
it
Young
kind of
Justice.
is really.
I don't know why that came to mind, like Young Justice.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's a good band name.
like a younger
Young Justice up on the mic.
cease and desist order.
Yeah, right, pretty much.
That's a good band name. Cease and desist. Murphy and Murphy Law. That's Young Justice. All right.
Okay, so anyway,
what was the cartoon called again?
Lunatics, but
Lunatics.
yeah,
Lunatics.
instead of like regular, it's like Loonatics.
Lunatics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, in that show, they take a bunch of other classic characters and kind of rework them to be in this other universe. So there's like Sylvester is in there as like this like brutal like general guy. Tweety is in there. I can't think of anybody else, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So anyway, because we were talking about Yosemite Sam, I was talking about his counterpart in that show, and he has a really weird name that is difficult to pronounce. And side note, I was watching the episode, and he doesn't even know how to pronounce his own name. But he does say it right at least one time, so it's pronounced Ophiuchus Sam.
Ophiuchus.
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 Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus.
Is that a legit name? Like
I don't know.
from back?
It's
Can't
from the
answer that
future.
question.
It's in the future.
Oh, Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus.
What's it translate into modern
Ophiuchus
day?
Martinez.
Ophiuchus Martinez.
Ophiuchus Perez. Ophiuchus.
All right. So after that, we talked about. We were talking about New Zealand and how they're called Kiwis. And then that was reminding me of Digimon, because there's a Digimon called Kiwimon. So I'm not 100% sure what the correction is here, but I just took down some notes. So Kiwimon digivolves from Floramon for some reason. Don't ask me how that works. Again, like if you remember way back, we were talking about Kabuterimon and that whole like evolutionary line there, and it's like a total mess. I kind of got in that rabbit hole again, and it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Regardless. Anyway, so Floramon digivolves into Kiwimon. Floramon was the partner of a Digidestin from France named Catherine with a C, which is contrary to what I had said last week. The guy that I was thinking of, the one from Australia, his name is Derek, and his partner was Crabmon.
Crabmon. The creativity.
Yeah.
With the digi-names is astounding.
Hey, Mon, what are you eating today? Crabmon.
Crabmon. You should try some cinnamon.
You're making me hungry. I know a real Jamaican at work. He saw a restaurant called Jamaican Me Hungry. Man, you'd have thought it was a Mexican pissed off at the Chihuahua like, from Taco Bell.
Offended.
I was like, but that's objectively funny. He's like, no, man, that's not funny.
Okay, next correction is, are you guys familiar with the theory of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 6 degrees of separation?
Yes.
A separation? No. Kevin Bacon, yes.
Okay, so separation is that anyone in the world is 6 degrees away from another person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's the bacon one?
Kevin Bacon.
Is you can connect Kevin Bacon to any actor in 6 movies or less.
Oh, so it's... Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, the example that I finally came up with is... So we were talking about Ron Howard to Kevin Bacon, because my sister had wondered what the connection is there. So, Ron Howard was in the movie Ozzy and Drix. If you guys remember that movie.
No, but...
Oh, really? Oh, that's a good movie. So he was in the movie Ozzy and Drix with David Hyde Pierce, who is the brother from Frasier.
Okay.
David Hyde Pierce was in Wet Hot American Summer with Elizabeth Banks.
Okay.
Who you should know. Elizabeth Banks was in Movie 43, which is a very funny movie, with Terrence Howard, who was in Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr., who was in Tropic Thunder with Tom Cruise, who was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
Wow. It's true. The prophecy has been fulfilled.
Well, the separation one, it gets exponentially larger as you go to the next number, right?
I guess so.
It does.
Yeah.
It grows.
But
that's kind of the point, I think. It's like... I think movie 40... Isn't that the one where they have all the big name celebrities in one movie?
There's a ton of
That's a
people in
good
the movie.
connecting point.
Yeah.
Is there 43 of them?
43 people?
No. They're famous actors. Is that... Why is
Oh,
it
there's
43?
probably more than that. It's this really dumb movie
It's like a
that's
campfire.
hard to explain.
I've only ever seen the trailer, and it seemed like it was some kind of April Fool's, because there were so many famous people in it.
Yeah.
Halle
No,
Berry.
it was a real movie.
Okay.
But it's kind of like, Did you ever see the movie New Year's Eve, or at least know what I'm talking about, where it's like about a bunch of different people's stories on New Year's Eve? They don't have anything
Like Valentine's Day?
Yeah, they don't have anything to do with each other, but it's kind of like that. It's sort of like that, but
What movie?
funny.
Like Crash.
43?
Don't talk to me about that. Okay, yeah, so I'm glad we finally got that out of the way. Next correction is, well, I guess this isn't really a correction, is we were talking about, I think we were talking about the new Godzilla anime that Netflix is coming out with.
What?
I can't remember. Regardless, I was wondering what defines an anime? Like,
Not Japan now, apparently.
well, I don't...
Avatar.
So you're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay, so...
Here's the thing. It was so good
Uh-huh.
that people are like, it's an anime. And they're like, it's not an anime. It's not Japanese. But it was so good. I guess if it's really good, it's an anime. Is that what it is?
I mean, you could say that. I mean, I wouldn't agree with that, though, because I think there are lots of cartoons that are really great that you wouldn't consider an anime, like Young Justice, or one of my other favorites is called The Avengers Earth's Mightiest... Or I think it's just Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That is an amazing cartoon, but it doesn't have any, art style that you would call anime. And I think you would only say that about Avatar because it's really good and because it has a more Eastern art style than a lot of Western cartoons do.
It does.
And conversely, like, I don't think you can say that all anime is like so good.
Yeah.
Like, I've only watched like the really, really highly acclaimed one just because that's all I have time for.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a ton of crap anime out there that I just don't know of.
There is.
So yeah, like, I don't think it's fair to say like this looks Japanese and it's really good, so it's an anime. So what I came up with is essentially anything that's Japanese is considered anime, and that's not just like a Western thing. Like in Japan, they consider it that way too. But they also consider anything animated to be anime. So like a Disney movie, not by Disney itself, like they are very clear to call it like a Disney production or whatever. But like a commoner, like like a regular person in Japan would call it anime because it literally just means animation to them, right?
Yeah.
I did read this one really good article on Kotaku that kind of breaks it all down, like examining it from a Western standpoint and an Eastern standpoint. And without going into it too much, they brought up some really good points. But as far as I can tell, everyone just says if it's Japanese, then it's anime. So I guess that works for me.
And that's it. If it's Japanese, it's anime. But what if even if it's done in an anime-inspired style, then it's
like
just
Avatar?
Yeah, like Avatar. And you know what? Arguably, I think the Boondocks.
I could see that, but
I thought it was originally an anime, like in Japan, and then they dubbed it for English audiences. I think so.
It's just like some of the events that happened there are real.
Well, because it's based off of a comic strip that's from America. I know that. If they made it into an anime in Japan and then dubbed it in English, I guess I would believe that. I don't know if that's true.
That's what I
Brandon
thought.
loves that show. He would know the answer.
Yeah. Where is Brandon when you need him?
Working. As always.
Working. Who works?
SCAs. Who does that? I did.
I mean, I always figured anime was just Japanese cartoon. Like, that was the definition of anime. Japanese cartoon. So if Netflix makes Godzilla...
Yeah.
So if a Japanese artist or a songwriter does a jazz piece, is it not jazz?
It's anime.
That sums it all up right there. All right.
Just
Flawless
when Marvel teamed up with Japanese animators to make the anime, like mini movies or whatever. I think that counts as anime too.
I think so.
Because the art style is anime, which it has a very distinct art style, which I think a lot of people are trying to copy in a lot of ways.
Is it like when here you go to a Tex-Mex restaurant and you get enchiladas?
Yeah.
And to me, they're not enchiladas,
but
they are enchiladas.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
We have like a red tortilla and theirs is wrapped up, covered in cheese, and basically a burger in tortilla style.
Pretty much.
No, but no, it doesn't make sense.
The idea.
And then there's a Salvadorian woman at work. Her enchiladas are nothing, and tamales are nothing like the. I don't know. It's like instead of it being regionally different, it's like.
Does Mexico make cartoons?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
That's an you heard it here. Anime.
Okay, next correction is we were talking about the movie Tomorrowland. Did you guys see that?
Tomorrowland. Is that the one with George Clooney?
Yeah.
It's like steampunky?
No.
Metropolitan?
Sort of. It's futuristic.
Okay.
Not steampunk.
No, I didn't see it, but I wanted to.
Where
he has the pin.
Yeah.
And okay.
So anyway, there was an actress in there that I didn't know the name of. Her name is Catherine Hahn. And then she was in Parks and Rec. That's what I was talking about. Her character in that show was named Jennifer Barkley. And just side note for the record, Paul Rudd's character in that show was named Bobby Newport.
Bobby Newport?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Okay. Next correction. We're talking about... we were talking about the new Kingdom Hearts game because we watched the latest trailer for that. And they go to the Toy Story world, and we're talking about Al and Al's Toy Barn. And Brayden said that it closed. I said that it didn't. So I couldn't find anything concrete to say one way or the other. However, in the video game of Toy Story 3, you collect tokens, which you can then take to Al's Toy Barn to redeem for like prizes or like in-game like collectibles or something. So that sounds to me like it's still open.
I think it exists like some Blockbuster stores still exist.
It's around?
Yeah. There's like 5 of them.
Al's Toy Barn. Because...
Al's
Are they
Toy
making
Barn.
a new Toy Story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll answer us then.
Perhaps.
If Pixar is listening.
Al's Jr. Toy Barn.
Al Jr.'s.
Al Jr.'s Toy Barn.
Oh, also, did you guys know that Al has a last name? Like, they established what his last name is?
What's his last name? Toy Barn?
No, it's McWiggin.
McWiggin?
Yeah.
Irish?
Toy Barn is so much better.
McWiggin.
Al McWiggin.
That's like the April Fool's McDonald's burger of the day.
What is it called?
The McWiggin.
Really?
I don't know. No, it sounds like it would be.
I'm McWiggin out right now.
Is McDonald's Irish?
I didn't see that movie, The Founder. I didn't see it, so I don't...
That's another one I didn't see.
Just anything Muck.
McDonald.
Mick.
Well, no, the Scrooge McDuck, he's Scottish, so...
Sean McConnery?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Okay, next correction is we were talking about Daniel Craig coming back for the next James Bond movie.
Yeah.
So that movie releases in 2019.
Awesome.
Next year.
We don't need another one from the last one, and we need some time to get
I
the last one.
I didn't see Spectre. Was it
not,
that bad?
It was pretty. It was pretty. It was shiny. It was trying to be unpredictable too much.
See, because I saw Skyfall and I really liked Skyfall.
Skyfall's good. Skyfall was awesome.
But I also didn't think Casino Royale or Quantum of Solace were that good, so...
That Casino Royale was alright, but...
I didn't think it was bad, I didn't think it was that great.
I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy this last one. It was just... I saw a YouTube video on it, on why it sucked, because I wanted to know why I didn't like it. I'll forget. I'll watch it and I'll go back to what I was doing, but... It was like a good 20-minute video, too. But it was trying to be unpredictable, or like, little gimmicks that 007 has. It pulls them all out, and then it breaks them. It's like, oh, it didn't work this time. But they did it way too much. Like the whole thing where he grabs a shiny new car, and this one he grabs a shiny new car, and it just doesn't work out for him. Yeah, it was... I could wait another 2 years for another 007 movie.
Okay, next correction is Walton Goggins is going to be in, I want to say the next Jurassic World movie, but regardless, he got cast in something. We were talking about that. And I said that I thought he was in the movie Holes, but turns out I was wrong. So I was thinking of the character Trout Walker, which you guys have both seen Holes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he was the one who was in love with or wanted Kissing Kate Barlow. And then, spoilers, he's the grandfather of the warden at Camp Green Lake. You guys remember all that?
No,
Susan.
wait. What was the guy's name? Susan, right?
Oh, I think it was Mary.
No, the guy's name.
Talking about Mr. Sir?
Mr. Sir.
Yeah, wasn't it Mary?
I think it was
Marion? Mary.
I think it was Susan.
I don't
It was
think
like-
it's Susan.
Or am I thinking of a boy named Sue?
I don't know. Fact, when I was in 4th grade, I was kind of a little nerd. And so I would read like these little books on like planets and stuff and like little science stuff because I wanted to be a scientist when I was little. And why'd you laugh, Robin? I did. I totally want to be I learned how to draw Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. I wanted to be a scientist.
That makes you a scientist.
And I read Holes because I thought it had some science facts about holes that I did not know. It's like, what's so interesting? Everybody was reading the book. It's like, what's so interesting about holes? Like, what's in them? What don't I know? And it was just a really good story. This is what it was. And the movie adaptation was...
Holes had a lot of gaps in it.
Oh.
You know, but it had a lot of
Fill
depth.
me in on it.
It had a lot of depth to it. It was a well-rounded story.
Bottomless, you would say.
Yeah. Almost bottomless. I know.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, Trout Walker is played by an actor named Scott Plank.
Trout
Not
Walker
Walton Goggins, yeah.
is Scott Plank.
Played by Scott Plank.
As in Walk the Plank.
Yes.
He's a pirate.
I guess so.
He's going to be in the next Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, then we talked about Darkwing Duck coming to the new DuckTales reboot cartoon. So Darkwing Duck's real name is Drake Mallard, and he lives in the city St. Canard.
Mallard.
Yeah. And then the superhero guy who crosses over from DuckTales to the Darkwing Duck, the original one, his name is Gizmo Duck. Okay, moving on. We talked about all the new pop vinyls, or the pop vinyls that were exclusive to SDCC. The one that the mech thing that I didn't know what it was is the Dwarven Colossus from the Elder Scrolls series, specifically Morrowind, I believe. That's the third game, I believe. Never played any of them, so I actually don't know.
So this last weekend, or that weekend we had your party,
Uh-huh.
it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we're going to the flea market with Beth and Pita, and we ran into the one store that sold the one thing not being sold in the entire flea market. We went to this little video game booth store, because it was inside, it was indoors. And not only can he hack your Wii and put no, I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, Pita looked at this Heisenberg pop up in the corner. She's like, how much for that? And he goes, oh, I can't sell that. He's like, why do you have it up there? Everything in the flea market can be bought and sold. Anyway,
which one was it?
I have the Heisenberg one.
So it was like the hat and the glasses, not like the hazmat suit?
No, I don't think it was a hazmat suit.
Okay.
That one's yellow.
He was like, that's my brother's. I can't sell it. Just take
What's
it
doing on the
down.
shelf?
Take it down. What else can I buy?
The only Breaking Bad pop that I have is Heisenberg, but he's crystal blue.
I
the
remember
meth.
that one. Yeah,
that's one of my favorites. Also, incidentally, one of my most valuable ones.
Oh snap!
I almost sold it, but then I didn't.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
But don't Beanie Baby it either. You know what's really expensive right now? I don't remember it being that expensive on Amazon. Is the first phase of Avengers or whatever, the first few movies, the one that came with a little toy Tesseract. I saw it on Amazon. It was like $900.
Oh, you like the movie collection?
Yeah, the movie collection.
$900?
I saw it. It said $900.
Wow.
A few months ago, I wanted to buy it, and I thought it was too expensive. It was like $100 and some, $150, something like that.
Dang.
But it was not. Almost $1,000.
Are you sure you didn't have it sorted from highest to lowest?
I never have it sorted from highest to lowest.
Every once in a while, on eBay or whatever, I'll do it just for kicks, just to see how much do people think they're gonna get for this.
I want to pay more.
And then there was a used one. The next less pricey one was like $400 and something bucks.
Wow, it's like $1,000 or best offer.
I'll take half of that. It's all right.
Okay, then we're talking about Mr. Toad because there was an exclusive Mr. Toad pop. So originally from The Wind in the Willows, which Disney did an animated adaptation of. And then there's something called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Not sure if that was like a spin-off cartoon, or if it's like an actual ride, or what have you. Then there's a third spin-off, or I guess second spin-off, third iteration, called The Adventures of Ichabod, as in Ichabod Crane from the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. I've definitely, like, when I looked back at it, I was like, oh, this sounds familiar, like, this kind of looks familiar. Like, I feel like I watched it, like, back in elementary school, but I don't really remember it now.
Sleepy Hollow?
No. I know Sleepy Hollow. Like, I watched, because we read it in high school, and we watched, like, an animated version of it. But I'm talking about Mr. Toad, like The Wind in the Willows and whatever.
I think I've seen a version of it, but can't recall.
Okay, moving on, there was another pop called the Psycho Shriner, which, side note, when I typed that into my phone, it autocorrected to Psycho, because this is spelled S-I-K-O, but it corrected it to Psycho, like Crazy Psycho. And then Shiver, or like Shiner, I don't even... Psycho something. So like I typed that into Google and I was like, what is, like, it didn't come up, like it didn't know what I wanted, and I was very confused until I figured it out. So anyway, I don't know what the Psycho Shriner is. Shrinker, Psycho Shrinker, that's what it
Psycho Shrinker?
Yeah. But the Psycho Shriner, the pop, I don't know what it is. As far as I can tell, it's an original creation of the Funko Corporation. Then for our feature topic, we talked about commercials, good ones, bad ones. I mentioned a gum commercial about this dad who his daughter goes off to college, and it's very sad. So that was for Extra brand gum. And he folds the wrappers into these little origami birds, swans, or whatever. And then as they're packing up her stuff for her to leave, he knocks over this box, and all of the swans that he ever made her fall out of the box, and he like holds one up, and he gets all sad because his daughter's leaving, and that's the end of the commercial.
What? Aww.
Yeah.
They led you on a wild goose chase.
So I watched the commercial. I thought it was still very effective, but there was one part where like she's getting older, and she's like sitting crying on her bed for whatever reason, and he comes in, he like pats her on the back or whatever, and then he hands her a stick of gum. It's like, I don't know if that's really the right time for that.
It's not the same day.
Whatever.
Can I buy another dad?
And then there was this other commercial, speaking of which, featuring Bryan Cranston as the Heisenberg character. So that was a commercial for Esurance. Yeah,
for Esurance.
Esurance.
Of all things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know?
What are they covering for Heisenberg? What's the commercial? Oh, are you about to explain it? I'm sorry.
Well, I explained it last time. I'll just show it to you.
Okay.
On the break, yeah.
So then RVs.
So for the other, so I just thought of a few other commercials that I couldn't think of last week. One of them is Sonic commercials, with the two dudes like sitting at the drive-thru, and they're like always talking, sitting in the car, whatever. Okay. I love those commercials. They're so dumb, but like every time, the first time at least, they always crack me up. Jack in the Box commercials too, I think, are pretty good. There was this one that was like, I think it was like my freshman year of college that I saw all the time. It was for
the little
the Jumbaco.
The Jumbaco.
So it's they're singing this song, and I won't torture you by making me listen to my singing. It's about like this bunch of dancers come up, and they go, first you take the Jumbo Jack, which is their burger, and then you add 2 tacos, and then like, what do you get? The Jumbaco, and it's like just a burger with like 2 tacos on top of it. And then it cuts to Jack, and he's like pitching this to his board or whatever. It's like, what do you think about this idea? And they're like, no, that's dumb. How about we just sell them a burger and 2 tacos? And then it cuts to Jack with his son, who, you know, has the whole Jack in the Box head too. And he's like, they didn't like my idea, and it's like, I tried.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's not the one I was thinking of. You're right. They do have, because there's this one, I don't know if it came out in English, but it came out in Spanish. And it's like, can I say midget? I'm going to say midget. It's like,
I know what you're talking about.
It's like little mini Buffalo Ranch. And there's like these like little people just dancing. And it used to crack up my little sister so much. I think we'd watch that commercial.
Yeah, it was the mini cowboy burgers, I think it was called.
Was it?
All
I remember is the words mini Buffalo Ranch.
Oh,
but like they would say it in Spanish, Buffalo Ranch. Like, and it was great. It was a great big deal.
So when I Googled like best commercials to like try and give me some ideas, and that was a bad idea because everything that came up was just Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah. Like
this year's and last year's. And that was basically everything that came up. So, but one that I did find was this old like safety advertisement for like Subway, like be careful on the subway. It's called Dumb Ways to Die. It's about these little shape people who like just do dumb things and they get killed because of it. It's a song. I'm not going to try to explain it because I'll ruin the joke, but it's really funny. It's like 2 minutes long. Highly recommend it. Go watch it.
you gotta show us.
You never seen it? Didn't you show that to me?
Well,
maybe.
I gotta look at it.
Okay, Old Spice commercials. At least the ones with, I don't even know what the guy's name is, but him and Terry Crews, I always thought those were really funny. They're not as good now, but it happens.
Yeah.
Have you seen how they do it? Like, he stays in one spot and they change the background is moving like a lot. I thought it was, post, but no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the last one that I wanted to mention was the Jack's Links beef jerky, the messing with Sasquatch commercials. I always thought those were really funny. I don't know if you guys had any that you wanted to mention.
I do. Actually, I'm very passionate about this one. I hope it never, ever, ever, ever changes. I've seen this commercial since I was little. I think it's one of my first memories. It's just one that stuck. And it has nothing to do with the product they're selling. All right? It is a Corona beer. All right? But it's just the one Christmas commercial.
Oh, yeah.
It's on an island. The palm tree lights up with the
old
Christmas lights.
Tannenbaum.
And there's like a light swishing of waves. Just, whoosh, I think maybe some bird sounds. I don't know. But it's just like you hear the waves. And the only thing that you hear prevalent is just somebody whistling "Oh Christmas Tree," like oh,
yeah.
And there's like a little tiny pause, like just enough suspense, and then it finishes off it, and that's it. It's just whoosh, little waves crashing every Christmas, and
they flip
I
on
think
the
that
switch
makes
for the
other than like Mass and Jesus and everything. I think that makes my Christmas whole. I think that makes my Christmas whole every year.
Commercial.
I hope it never changes.
That reminds me of another one. There's another Christmas commercial where this little girl and her parents, they wake up on Christmas morning and they go into the room and there's just mountains and mountains of presents. Like she has like a full size like train set and like a rocking horse, like any Christmas present you ever wanted, like she got. And the parents are like, "Oh my gosh! Like, what did you leave?" Or he says, "Those must have been some really good cookies you left for Santa." And the girl goes, "No, I didn't leave him cookies. I left him cheese." And then this like French narrator comes on and goes, "Ah, it's the power of cheese." And that's it. That's it. And
what was the product?
it's for like the American Dairy Association or something. And ever since we saw that commercial, my brother and sister and me, we've left out cheese for Santa every year.
Wow.
So it works. It works. They got us to buy cheese every Christmas.
I've never seen that commercial by my life.
It's the power of the cheese. Oh, croissants.
Did you have any?
I always liked the old passive-aggressive smack talk between Mac and PC.
Oh, yeah, those were really good.
Those were
Yeah.
so good. Because it was just like, oh, yeah, well, you could get this, or you could be better than that.
Have you seen the meme where it's Mac versus PC, and it's like the Mac is going, "Hey PC, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Playing video games." That's the end of it. It's just Next meme.
Okay, well, that's all of our corrections for this time, episode, whatever. So we're going to take a break. I got a couple of videos to show Armando. We got trailers to watch, and then we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere.
Who's always stingy and wonders why people like us even try. But who says we do it for you? Sometimes we just need to chase the blues, and sometimes we need to keep warm. And I'll be your vagabond king if you'll be mine. Vagabond queen will be the best and the sidewalk that's ever seen. Will be the best that the streets have ever seen. Will be the best that the streets have ever seen.
Okay, we are back. And we've got a pretty decent number of trailers to talk about. So the first one we watched was for a movie called The Darkest Hour, starring Gary Oldman. He was the only actor I really recognized.
I didn't recognize
And
him.
he was in costume.
Yeah, there was a movie set. It's like a sequel or a prequel to Silence of the Lambs that he was in. It's the same thing. Like he's so there's so much prosthetic on him that you would not know it's him until you see the credits. But anyway, that's besides the point. So this is a movie about Winston Churchill and when he becomes the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So it's during World War II. I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, I know you're big on history, but not being so much personally. I found it very enlightening because I didn't know that like nobody wanted him to be the Prime Minister because, you know, now looking back, you know, however many years later, like I think of Winston Churchill as like, you know, the greatest Prime Minister that England's ever seen, but apparently that wasn't always the case. I just found that interesting.
Yeah, I've as a social studies teacher, I appreciated it, and yeah, like Winston Churchill, he wasn't the top choice for Prime Minister because he was so abrasive and you know some of his stances, I believe. But I think he was elected Prime Minister under the what's the word, stipulation that he would step down as prime minister as soon as the war was over, which he did not do immediately, but he did. I think he waited for England to get back on its feet a little bit before stepping down, if I remember correctly. But it looked like a lot like a more gripping version of The King's Speech. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love The King's Speech.
Yeah, which was a really good movie too. So there's not a doubt in my mind that this is going to be a really like big movie. I'm going to go see it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know much. I just, I mean, I know even less about history than you because I kind of avoided it. I know he's a big name. I found out he was a prime minister today.
It's educational.
Well, I just thought it was interesting because this movie coming out in November, and Winston Churchill was also in Transformers: The Last Night, which came out a couple months ago or last month or whatever.
Winston Churchill?
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah,
There's some
time travel shenanigans.
I'm not that tired, am I? Winston Churchill in a Transformers.
Yeah. Played by Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Wow. How did they snag him for a Transformers movie?
They said, hey, we'll pay you as much as you want to get in this movie.
Nobody's going to watch it. And
No,
actually,
watch it.
everybody watches it. It's awesome. I just watched the one with dinosaurs in it.
Oh, I still haven't seen it.
No?
Mm-mm.
I watched half of it. Turns out, I don't know, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but Transformers has been here for a while.
He just did.
Since the dinosaurs.
So wait, does that mean they had gas back then too?
They don't run on gas.
They had a car.
They were silent.
Yeah. Darkest Hour looks pretty good. Then after that, we watched a trailer for a movie called Bright, starring Will Smith.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize anyone else in this movie. But this is a Netflix original film.
With Will Smith.
With Will Smith.
80s.
I was not very entertained by this trailer. It was like...
I was the first time I saw it. And now it seemed like just a bunch of rejected ideas put together.
Yeah.
They were like Aliens, Bad Boys 3, Will Smith.
It's basically a cop, like a Wild West cop shoot 'em up movie.
Yes, he was also in Wild Wild West.
And that's pretty much it, with fairies and magic wands.
Hey.
Yeah, because
fairies.
it's like, so it starts off like very serious, and then like he wakes up from like a dream or something, and then he goes outside, he kills this fairy. So I'm like, okay, this isn't a serious movie. But then it like transitions to like I never saw this movie, but it kind of reminded me of Training Day with
Samuel Jackson.
No, it's
No.
Denzel and
Washington.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Will Smith and then this like orc partner or something.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was an alien the first time I saw it.
and it takes on this very serious tone, but then they respond to some call, and there's this kid, and the kid is holding this like bright object, and they look at it, and the orc guy goes, "Is that a magic wand?" But like in the most serious tone possible, but he's talking about a magic wand. I'm like, okay, this is really dumb. Like,
Yeah.
I'll probably watch it just because it's on Netflix, and
Yeah.
like that's how like Netflix stuff is.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm already paying for it, so I might as well.
Might as well watch it.
But it's
And they
it
do
doesn't
have a
look
lot
that
of good
great.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
their shows are typically really good, but
The agenda was clear for that movie as soon as you start beating up that fairy. And by fairy, I mean
an actual winged
small
magical creature.
And it was he's like, fairy lives don't matter today. So,
Yeah.
and the whole thing is about discrimination, I guess, because they're in a bad neighborhood that's obviously supposed to be black. I think it's a little ghetto. All right, and then Will Smith, and there's an agenda in there. It was too obvious to not. I don't know what they're trying to do with it. Black Lives Matter. That's what it was.
mhm.
You can edit it out. I'm sorry.
So then we watched a trailer for a new. The rest of these are all shows for the upcoming Amazon original series, The Tick, which is based off of the old cartoon that I know I've seen like bits and pieces of, but not a lot. again, like this trailer didn't really do too much for me. Like it seemed like it was definitely trying to be funny, but it did not make me laugh. Like, at all.
Yeah. It seems like it's kind of relying on, hey, remember that show The Tick that was a cartoon from when you were like a really kid in the like a really young kid in the 90s? Well, now it's a live action superhero thing.
Mhm.
Huh?
Yeah.
And it's just, you can't really buy into it. I give it like a season and that's it.
That sums up pretty much every trailer we watched after this. There was, hey, remember this? Here's a reboot.
Yeah, that's
hey,
kind of true.
remember this?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, not much else to say.
Yeah, I mean, like it seemed like it's definitely an origin story, which is cool or whatever. But
Really, it seemed like he was already done being the Tick. And
It
he
really-
just kept going.
It ticked me out.
Oh, stop it wrong. Stop.
You're getting edited out.
then we watched a trailer for the Star Trek Discovery TV show that we've been talking about
Yeah.
for I don't even know how long.
Hey, remember Star Trek? Here's another Star Trek thing.
Yeah, I mean that is true, but I think this looks really good. Like, I've been talking about this on the podcast for so long, and I was really down on it. But seeing it, like, this is the second trailer we've gotten, seeing it in action, I think it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to at least watching the first few episodes to see if it lives up to the what they've shown. But
I'll say the actors look like they were better actors for this show than just from what I got a glimpse of in the other trailers. The Tick
Mhm.
acting was like mediocre. I was just like, I don't know. He was kind of simple, I guess, and that was his thing. But
right,
there was a bit more emotion shown in the faces for this Star Trek one, and
yeah.
it's just, yeah, I'm not gonna be the first to watch it. But if there's a good story, there's a good review, definitely give it a chance.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Isaacs is in this, and I have really mixed feelings about him. Like, I think he's a really good actor, but he's been in so many like villain-esque roles that I am hesitant to get attached to him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna end up being like a bad guy in this show, probably.
Anyways, yeah.
But I'm glad that he's in it. I really respect him as an actor.
Did you ever watch the old series, Star Trek?
No.
No.
It's on Netflix though, so I'll get around to it at some
Okay.
point.
It has what's her name in it from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I don't know what her name is.
I forget her name, but it seems to me like she's kind of just doing the same thing as The Walking Dead. It's just in space.
Was she a damsel in distress there?
Sometimes, but I mean, she did her typical jump, run, one word, run,
Yeah.
shoot, and
Run.
so,
That
as
she
far
literally
as-
just dropped in to run.
go. And
She had like this Iron Man pose on the way down too. It was
yeah, so
kind of epic.
I don't know. I think if they might as well have just turned it into another movie instead of like try and drag it out for a whole series. But we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of Trekkies out there who might buy into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Money's in the chase, man. The money's in the chase.
Bank.
I'm quoting Glow from Netflix.
Oh, I watched that.
I liked it.
You mean Bright?
It was okay.
No, that was the other movie we just watched.
I also finished watching Sense8, despite you telling me not to. It was not good.
I liked the first season. There was way too much in how would I put this in your podcast? People got along a little too well with each other too often. It was like that just removed from the story. There was no point to it. It was just tasteless, I think.
I agree. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So then the next trailer we watched was for The Gifted.
Keep
So,
thinking of that
I think-
book. Sorry.
I think the best praise you can give this is that Robin said that she wants to watch it. So
What is that supposed to mean?
no, I think that
She
speaks.
said the best praise.
I think that speaks really highly to the show, or at least this trailer. Drawing in a person who's familiar with comic books, but not super avidly a follower of them.
Yeah.
Robin watches all of the DC TV shows, well, except for Supergirl. But this is Marvel, and so, for them to draw her in with this trailer, I think speaks really well of the cinematics and the story that they've shown so far.
I watched Jessica Jones.
That's true.
Yeah. I didn't like the actors in this, so I'm going purely because I'm not expecting anything from these things and these shows. I'm gonna wait to see if it's good or not. But the actors seemed, there was a serious tone to it. They couldn't really convey it properly. I don't know. There was a lack of emotion, the faces were very plain when they were talking, and a lot of one-liners. It's like every scene had to be important. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like the way they showed it.
I mean, I can agree with that, but at the same time, like, it is a trailer. Like, they're supposed to just show you, like, quick hits of, like, exciting stuff. So,
yeah. They gave you the general, like, the premise of the show, which, a trailer should do. And then they have... I'm trying to think, like, did they have some of... I'm thinking the series in the timeline.
Oh,
is it placed...
Who knows?
I think it's placed, I don't know
exactly
when.
Can't answer
Sentinel
that question.
program. I don't know, because I know Logan, they're like, there are no more mutants. The end.
Spoilers.
What?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Who hasn't seen Logan?
Us.
What? You have a
50% of the people in this room haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Logan?
No.
What I said
the other day,
we
we pulled it up and loaded it and everything, and then we didn't watch it.
You need to see Logan. I've seen it 3 times.
You try moving to another state. It's stressful.
I bet it is.
We watched A Cure for Wellness instead of Logan.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
should have watched Logan.
Not a good decision.
Logan was a cure for wellness.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Cure for wellness.
Just watch the movie and find out.
Okay.
Except don't watch the movie because it's not good.
Yeah. It's got what's his name? That guy from who was Harry Osborn.
Yeah, Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan. But
who apparently, like, I saw something on Twitter the other day. Like, apparently, like, a lot of women think he's very attractive.
Really?
Is this like the whole eyebrows girl thing?
I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he doesn't have weird eyebrows. He has weird eyes. Like, he has, like, really, like, creepy eyes.
Yeah, but it's like, people think that she's all attractive. It's the same type of thing.
What's his name again? Dane
DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan.
He was in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah, I know what he is.
Yeah, he looks really sick. Like, he looks ill. But...
And he didn't find the cure for wellness.
No, I guess he didn't.
Anyway, the Gifted, I think it looks good. Like, I don't think it's going to be, like, amazing. I don't think it's going to be as good as Legion, probably. Because Legion, like, they set a really high bar for that one. But I'll check it out.
Yeah. It seems like just a bunch of teeny boppers flashing their powers.
A lot of milking. Milking the series. Milking the name.
Got to. Because Marvel got rid of the X-Men. Like, that's dead. But they're trying to keep sort of the franchise sort of alive by making all these roundabout X-Men.
No, they didn't get rid of the X-Men.
No, I thought they comics. I thought they killed it.
They can't get. They don't have the rights to it anymore. Back in in the 90s or 2000s?
That's just the film rights.
Well, does it not count as film rights?
No, this does, but he's talking about the comics. Marvel still has all the rights to the comics.
But I thought they stopped making X-Men.
They did for the Fantastic Four, but I think the X-Men is too popular to get rid of.
Fantastic Four doesn't need to be alive anymore. How about Mr. Fantastic? And then he marries Mrs. Fantastic, and they will have a rock guy called the Thing. Anyways.
Okay, and then we watched a really short, almost pointless talk about teaser that we'll just mention real quickly. This is for Krypton, that show set on Krypton about Superman's paternal grandfather. There didn't show enough for us to really talk about. It just...
Red Sun.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just like, you guys know Superman. Mm-hmm. Here, we're making a show.
Yeah.
The end. Krypton, yeah. Crouton.
That's all I got.
Okay. Then the final trailer that we watched was for the TV movie reboot, whatever, of Rocko's Modern Life.
Yes.
So, apparently I was the only one who knew this going into it. Rocko's Modern Life was a cartoon on Nickelodeon, like in the like early 2000s, late 90s. I'm not exactly sure.
They said the 90s.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it. Like, I think my parents didn't allow me to watch it because, like, if the cartoon is anything to judge off of, or sorry, if this trailer that we watched is anything to judge off of, this cartoon was like really weird and twisted.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I guess they didn't let me watch it because of that. But anyway, so I don't really know exactly what it was about. But the title implies that he was trying to like adapt to, you know, the technology of the 90s, and now jump ahead, you know, 15, 20 years later, whatever. Things have definitely changed a lot, and that's kind of what the trailer is about. Like, it's a lot of like jokes about like they leave the house and they go to like a Starbucks equivalent, and they go across the street and drink some more. They go outside of like a tech store, and they get like, one of them gets the iPhone, like a knockoff, the iPhone 8, and then the other one's like, oh, I just got the iPhone 9, and the employee comes out and slaps a sticker on it. The iPhone 10 is out, and everyone comes to get it.
Yeah,
things like that, and it was very like quirky and bizarre. Like, I didn't know what was happening, but it was also really funny.
Yeah.
So
my favorite trailer. Well,
yeah,
that seemed like the only one that was good to me.
There was a lot of like social allegory that like it has to be like meant for like Nick at Night or something for the older audiences.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it was trippy. Like, the art style was really like elongated and like just distorted in a lot of ways, and there was a lot going on.
Visual satire.
Yeah, pretty much. But
yeah,
it was
and then
interesting.
the weird, like, kind of creepy stuff. They were, I don't really know what's happening, but there were these girls who were promoting some like energy drink or whatever, and it was like radioactive, and they were spraying it on the crowd, and it was mutating all of them.
Yeah,
and like Rocko got covered in it, and like his skin just like melted off of him. That was scary.
A lot of social allegory.
Yeah.
Then
So
there was a poster on the phone little tidbit that you mentioned. There was a poster. It was like, instead of like the iPhone, it's called the O phone. It's like, get the O phone watch, look like a tool. That's what it said in the back.
And then they come back to the truck that's giving away that radioactive.
And they can't stop drinking.
And then they carry the truck. They lift the truck and start just drinking it straight from the truck.
Yeah.
And then
it's like the Red Bull girls.
They
you know,
grow.
the giant Red Bull.
Yeah.
Grow extra limbs, get stronger. Just, they look very awake. It reminded me of my freshman year. It's great. A lot of rock stars for me. The drink.
Not the people.
No,
okay, so that's all the trailers, and this was actually a pretty light news week. So we'll go ahead and cover what I did come up with.
Right.
First news item here is that Tegan Croft has been cast as Raven in the new live-action Teen Titans series. So the buried lead here is that there's a new live-action Teen Titans series. I was like really shocked when I read about this, because like Teen Titans, like the cartoon. Let's start with comics. Teen Titans comics still going on. Pretty popular as far as I know. It's shifted away from like the Teen Titans that we know from the comic or from the cartoon. Now it's like Blue Beetle and who else is in it? I don't remember. Damian Wayne as Robin instead of Dick Grayson and those kinds of people. So that's still going on. There's the cartoon, which it's kind of getting old, but not that old. And then there's Teen Titans Go, which is still going on and is super popular. Like, it's one of Cartoon Network's most popular shows, I think. And then there's Young Justice, which is, you know, a more mature version of Teen Titans. So I'm not sure who's asking for a live action Teen Titans show, but it's happening. So that's the thing. This is coming, just like Young Justice Season 3, this is coming to the upcoming DC app that they're developing, and they're pushing out their produced entertainment for. So that's a thing, I guess. This Tegan Croft character, as far as I understand, this was like her first acting gig. She looked like very young. In the one picture that I saw, she looked like 13 or 14. Not like Raven, in my opinion, but that's just because she was blonde. So
they'll probably dye her hair.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. Throw a jewel on her forehead.
Goth.
Yep.
Goth team.
But
That's so Raven.
That's so Raven.
so yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. I should have led with this probably. Switching gears a little bit, we have to talk about a celebrity death. Unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about something else.
Do you want me to talk about that?
No, because I'm going to cry.
So the actor named Robert Hardy passed away at the age of 91. We would probably know him best as the actor who played Cornelius Fudge in the Harry Potter films. You never seen any of the Harry Potter movies?
I have seen. I'm making a face.
I remember his son.
He doesn't have a son.
I remember the character.
Cornelius Fudge.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of who's Doctor Who.
You're so off. You're so off.
Yeah, you're thinking of Mr. Crouch.
Oh,
Mr. Crouch. Not Mr. Stan.
Crouch when I eat fudge, so
What?
you know, kind of connection.
Oh, well, sad to see that he's...
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, he was 91, like, he lived a good, long life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've, the regular listeners of the show know that I listen to this podcast called Tales from Godric's Hollow, where we read 2 chapters of Harry Potter a week, and we're going through the whole series. In the middle of book 5 right now, which is where, I mean, I won't spoil anything, but Harry and the Ministry of Magic, they're not really getting along right now. So, like, it's weird because, like, I feel bad for this guy dying, but at the same time, like, I have this inward dislike of Cornelius Fudge because of what's going on in the book. So I'm like, yeah, I feel kind of bad for, like...
This is probably how Harry felt. Put yourself in the book.
So, yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Hardy.
Amen.
Okay, next news item here is that there's a new cartoon coming to Netflix based off of Stretch Armstrong, the toy Stretch Armstrong.
There's a whole cartoon scene.
Yeah, it's going to be called Stretch Armstrong and the Flex Fighters.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Oh.
So, have you guys ever actually played with a Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
I've played with things that are like Stretch Armstrong, but not like an actual Stretch Armstrong.
They just stretch.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah. So this cartoon is about Stretch Armstrong and his friends, who, as far as I can tell, all have the same powers, but they like use them differently. Like one of their his superhero name was like Wingspan, so he can like fly, I guess. And the other one was,
How do you fly? You
I don't
stretch?
yeah, I guess he morphs into like wings. I don't know. Anyway,
Mr. Fantastic.
And the Flex Army. What?
Yeah, so they're like using their powers to fight crime, I guess.
Huh.
So
From the long arm of the law.
yeah, I don't know. Like they only showed like one like screenshot of this planned cartoon, but I think it looks pretty interesting. I'm down to check it out. Like I said, it's going to be on Netflix, and if it's on Netflix, that means I'll probably end up watching it at some point.
It's like, why not? You're flipping through things to watch anyways.
Yep. Speaking of Netflix, just today actually, they acquired a company called Millarworld. This is a comic book company, like one of the few comic book companies that exist now besides Marvel and DC. So their best known works include Wanted, if you remember that movie with
Curving bullets.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And ladies.
Kick-Ass.
What?
Okay.
Did you ever see Kick-Ass?
I did. I
Yeah.
saw the first one.
I saw the first
second
one. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
And then Kingsman.
Huh. I didn't even know that was a comic series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the guy, and I didn't even write his name down, but his last name is Miller. Obviously, he worked for Marvel for a long time. He created the Old Man Logan character.
Nice.
He worked on like the Winter Soldier storyline and like the storyline that the first Avengers movie is based on. So a bunch of like really pivotal story arcs for them. So he definitely knows his stuff, and Netflix has acquired his company. So this is their first acquisition that they've made, which I find really interesting because I was reading the other day that they're in debt, like way, way, way in debt somehow. It was like 80 million, I think. Do you know at all?
No, I haven't been keeping up with Netflix's finances.
Yeah, so they're like spending money left and right. Like they're making all these series. They're acquiring this new company. Like I don't.
They're just a growing company.
Yeah.
So right now there's a lot more debt. Honestly, I have to look at their 10K and see what they're spending their money on. But whenever a company's growing like Netflix is, I guess, there's just a lot of stuff you have to work with. But as long as there's investors, their stock's probably up, and they're gonna keep going. Tesla was in debt a lot too. That one's kind of kicking off. It's getting bigger. Not to get boring, but yeah, that's just what a company does when it grows.
Armando's our resident financial guy. He puts the fine in financial. See, now he laughs at it.
So yeah, they're still making the Kingsman movies, so I don't think we're gonna get like a Kingsman TV show or cartoon or whatever. But I could definitely see getting like a Wanted cartoon or like maybe a new animated adaptation of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something.
I don't know if I would want that. Did you
It's not
see?
Wanted.
Did you see the little? It was a small clip of the Kingsman and Archer crossover.
No, I didn't watch it. Was it funny?
I liked it. Yeah, you should check it out.
Okay, I definitely will. Okay, next news item is that the director of the new Shazam movie, or the upcoming Shazam movie, he's talking about how it's going to be one of the more lighthearted DC movies. I only wanted to mention that because I'm super pumped about Shazam. Like, he's one of my favorite comic book characters.
Cool.
So I'm really excited for this movie, and I'm really glad it's going to be more lighthearted. Like, I feel, and I know lots and lots of other people feel, that one of the big problems with the DC movies is they're too, like, grim. Like, there's not enough, not only, like visually, there's not enough, like, brightness, but there's not a lot of, like, levity in them. They try to make their dumb jokes, like, in the Batman vs. Superman movie when Wonder Woman shows up and Batman's like, or Superman's like, was she with you? And he's like, I thought she was with you. And then we're all supposed to laugh, but it's not funny. So I'm really glad that they're taking this Shazam movie in a different direction. I think that can only be beneficial. And that just makes me even more excited for this movie, which I was already pretty excited for.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, in the Batman vs. Superman, film original soundtrack, the theme song for Wonder Woman is "She with You."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. Okay, moving right along here, it was announced that Ian McShane is going to be in the upcoming reboot of the Hellboy series.
As in movie series?
Yes. Did you hear about this?
I did not know they were redoing the movies. I'm waiting for a third movie.
Yeah, so backing up a few months, Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro and some like movie executives or whatever, they finally got into a meeting to like hash out the details, and when they came out, Guillermo del Toro said, it's not happening, like the dream is dead. Like he was really passionate about it, like he was trying to do whatever needed to get done to make it happen, but whatever happened, he said it's not going to happen. And then literally it was like a month, couple weeks, like a very brief time later, it was announced that there's going to be a new movie series without Ron Perlman, without Guillermo del Toro. It's going to be the sheriff from Stranger Things. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Yeah.
He's going to be the new Hellboy, and they're moving on without them.
That makes sense.
That sucks.
No, it makes zero sense. But we already talked about it on the show. I don't really want to bring up old memories because I'm just going to get angry.
He's got that broad face, though. I can paint it in red.
So, Ian McShane, let's see. He's been in Game of Thrones. He was in like one episode. That was cool. He was in one episode of American Horror Story Asylum. He was in What else has Ian McShane been in? Oh, he was in John Wick. Duh. Both of those movies. He's the manager of the Continental.
The Continental, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Love John Wick.
So,
Is that the dog movie?
Yeah, it's the dog movie.
Okay.
It's right up there with Air Bud and Beethoven.
I'm for real.
No, I'm for real too.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
one. Yeah, it's that one.
Keanu
Reeves.
Yeah, so he's a great actor, Ian McShane.
Keanu
not
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
What?
No, Ian McShane
Totally
is a great actor, so I think that's pretty neat.
He's gonna be Hellboy. He's a little older.
No, he's not Hellboy.
He's what?
He's just going to be in the movie. I don't think they announced his role.
He'll be the manager of the continent. Because Hellboy works...
He's an assassin.
Yeah, he's an assassin, so... Makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Wait, so Hellboy is a sheriff dude from Stranger Things?
Yes.
What's his name?
The actor's name?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, I thought that's what we were talking about.
No. I announced that a few weeks ago now.
Okay. Go ahead.
See, this is why nobody listens to the podcast. If you did, you would know all this already.
I wish you'd send me a link, Alex.
Oh, well, you didn't ask for one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, final news item for this week. It was announced that we got a casting announcement for Bumblebee. The Bumblebee movie, you guys know about this? Bumblebee's getting his own solo movie. It's
As in the Transformer?
Yeah, sorry.
They have actors for those?
No. Like, there's going to be a human in the movie.
But he's going to be Bumblebee, the car.
Yes.
The human will be the car.
No.
Is he just a voice?
They're transforming too much.
The movie's going to be about Bumblebee, but
car.
his, like, partner, like, the replacement for Shia LaBeouf, is going to be John Cena.
That's awesome.
Gonna fly.
That poor car.
You can't see him.
You have to carry John Cena around.
It's gonna be screeching.
Eating Fruit Loops. Being Fruity Pebbles in the car.
Rolling on 22. Turn them into 21s.
Well, that's... I mean...
Bumblebee's gonna be tipping on fofos.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, John Cena. Okay, when is that supposed to hit the ground?
Next year, I think? I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
John Cena!
John Cena!
Okay, so that's all the news for this week. So that means the next segment is Hot Takes. I just have one that I'll go over really quickly, but because I think the last time we were on here we did do Hot Takes. This is just when we talk about past week, what we've been watching, seen any movies or shows or funny YouTube videos, just kind of whatever. It's basically it's like what I want to talk about that doesn't fit anywhere else in the podcast. Last week was my birthday.
Yeah,
it was pretty lit.
Like the candles.
And
my future.
And I went to go see War for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay.
I am a big fan of this movie series, the reboot. I need to watch the originals, I just haven't gotten around to it. But the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and now War for the Planet of the Apes. All three really fantastic movies. This third one was a lot slower than the other two, I have to say. But still really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm curious to see where they'll go from here in the series if they choose to continue it at all. I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but it would make sense for them to leave it off here, but I would like to see them continue, just kind of see how the world continues to evolve as the apes themselves continue to evolve. So yeah, it'll be interesting, I think. But that's the only thing that I've had time to see. It's just been. Oh wait, no, I lied. I thought of another one. My sister and Robin and I watched a movie called Thomas and the Magic Railroad. This was a movie that came out in 1999 with mostly unknown actors, but it has Peter Fonda, who's the son of Henry Fonda, and I think he's related to Jane Fonda, but I'm not sure. Anyway, and then the girl from Matilda, and Alec Baldwin. And it's about Thomas the Tank Engine and the Magic Railroad. And it's not a great movie. It's definitely not as good as it was when I was like 7 years old, I guess. But yeah, you know what? I still enjoyed watching it a lot. So that was a good time.
Trains are for closers.
Trains are for closers.
All right. Always be training. ABT.
ABT. Always be training.
Is that the right Baldwin?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. You better hope it is. And now that you mention it, I don't think I've seen a movie in a really long time.
Let's go to your cinema right now. We'll come back and finish.
The cinema.
show.
Well, I did. Rebecca, Jasmine's roommate, she showed me this YouTube channel. It's called Studio C, and it's essentially SNL, except it's like clean humor and stuff. And Rebecca was telling me that a lot of the actors are actually Mormon. And so it's kind of like a big sort of Mormon comedy show, but they don't talk about Mormonism. But it's just, they do skits, and it's actually pretty funny. It's pretty funny. So I would suggest that. Studio C, I would subscribe to that. There's like
just the letter C.
Studio letter C, and they have like 1 million videos.
Does it stand for Christ?
I don't know what it stands for. I don't think Mormons are Christians.
Yeah.
They
let's
are?
let's not do this. You're gonna offend some people out there.
They're around the ballpark, right?
The ballpark.
They believe in Jesus. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, he existed. If he don't, never mind.
They
They
believe
taught us
they're
in-
Christians.
They taught us in public school.
We'll cut it in post.
I saw The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh, okay.
finally.
Hey.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. It was a good movie. The romantic relationships in the movie were weird, just because
He was aging backwards.
he was aging backwards. It was only normal when they hit at the middle point,
Yeah.
where they were both around the same age.
Mhm.
After that, it was after and before. It was just like there's some kind of message here that I really don't want to listen to.
Yeah. Age doesn't matter, man.
Age is just a number, but it's okay here because it's the same age, but it's not in
Yeah.
real life. You shouldn't do this, but it's okay for us to do it.
Who is his romantic love interest in that movie?
Kate, I don't know, Blanket?
Blanchett?
Blanchett.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Villain lady from Thor, the
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
That's her?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah, she's hot.
I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, the one with the crazy
The
horn
goddess
head.
of the underworld. You broke my hammer.
But interesting movie. I'm
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all I got for that one.
Okay. So Studio C,
YouTube Studio
Benjamin
C.
Button, and Monkeys and Trains.
They're
Oh, we
apes.
also watched 1 million episodes of Family Feud.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so good at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because we were watching we watched some Steve Harvey ones, but we also watched a few episodes of guys from I guess it was the 70s. I'm not exactly sure, but two other hosts, and it was very interesting to for one thing to see how they handle the show. One of them was he was really weird. He was all up on the women, kissing them on the
Kissing
mouth
on
and
them,
stuff.
yeah.
Was he an older guy?
Multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other guy, I thought the first guy that we
Yeah.
watched, he was pretty funny.
But I was when we usually watch it, I get so annoyed at Steve Harvey because I'm like, you're so annoying. But then once we watched the old ones, and I watched that, came back, I was like, Steve Harvey, I missed you.
I missed you, Steve.
And then also just to see how the questions have evolved and how the answers have evolved was from a scientific standpoint, I guess was kind of interesting. But yeah, I think Modern Family Feud is probably the best one.
Yeah.
At least in my 2017 opinion.
Yeah.
It was also like really, like you play the game along with them, and when you're playing the old one, like it's really hard because you're not like in their culture at the moment.
It's
like
a
one of the
different-
questions is like, who would you say are the top entertainers of the world? Well, we weren't around them, so we were like, wait, what year is it in this? So we figure out who's alive right now.
Tupac.
Tupac Shakur.
Oh, you probably didn't know about it.
This episode aired a long time ago.
Real long time ago. 1994. I did watch, I guess I started in the middle of the whole, I started watching The Office from like the middle season, which is at like 4 or 5.
Yeah, before, I guess.
And then I just kept going. I just couldn't stop. And I've decided that Jim and Pam, they are my favorite sitcom relationship. They beat How I Met Your Ted and whoever you want to choose his partner to be. And they beat
Ted and Veronica forever. No, Victoria.
Victoria. Yeah.
What about Leslie Knope?
Leslie, yeah, way better than Leslie Knope. Way better than Ross and Rachel. Way better than, I don't know.
We're watching Friends right now too.
Does Roseanne have somebody?
Roseanne has
yeah, John Goodman.
Yeah,
John Goodman. You know,
that was a solid relationship.
They were good.
What about Hal and I just lost
Lois?
Lois.
They're pretty good.
Who?
Hal and Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. The parents.
Oh yeah.
We're watching that
Before he
slowly.
started making blue substances.
You know, I haven't seen Malcolm in the Middle. Is that on Netflix?
That's
I
such a
should
good
watch it.
show.
I remember when it was Brian's birthday. Happy birthday, Brian. A couple days ago. But
No, I think.
No, it was yesterday or today.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
I think it's today.
what's the day?
Today's the 9th.
Look at the
No.
calendar, it's right
I
there.
think
Today's the
today.
7th.
Today's the
Oh my
7th.
gosh.
I'll look.
Happy belated birthday, little brother.
Happy belated
Yeah, because
birthday,
he's totally
Brian.
going to listen to this.
Send it to him.
One day.
One.
One day.
Send him a link. They, yeah, I need to watch. He watched that thing in like a week, I remember.
Wow.
It was, yeah, when I asked him
Power
one day, I
watch.
started watching it, like, not soon after. He was like, yeah, I finished it. I was
It's
like,
today.
shit. It's today?
I didn't even know Brian watched TV.
You watch Netflix, man. Yeah.
It's like everybody else. He puts his pants on one leg at a time.
What?
Nothing.
What was that?
Nothing.
Okay.
My soul.
Well,
What's next?
Nacho.
so
You ready?
that brings us to our feature topic. So last episode I talked about Vacation Went On. This episode I started off talking about Vacation Went On. So I thought that we should talk about vacations in movies / TV shows and how they're like 1,000 times better, either 1,000 times better or 1,000 times worse than any vacation I've ever been on. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
So I'll kick it off. When I was thinking about this, I don't know why, but the first thing that came to mind is the short Pikachu's Vacation, which I believe actually was before Pokemon movie 2000. You guys know what
I
I'm talking
think
about?
so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I remember that one, yeah.
So
Yeah, they
basically,
never show the faces. Go ahead. Like Ash, they never show the faces.
oh yeah.
It makes it all about the Pokemon. I like
Uh-huh.
them. It's cool.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
So actually, no, I don't remember even which movie this was before, but basically, like all of the Pokemon, like Ash, Brock, and Misty's Pokemon, they just like go to this park that's only for Pokemon. Like humans aren't allowed in there, and they just go chill. And there's like this giant water slide and like these seesaws, and it's just like super awesome. And they're all having a great time, and then they go back. No, doesn't it like start to like fall apart or something?
Togepi. No, there's a Cubone.
Yeah, Cubone.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my mom's dead.
Yeah.
And, and so he starts crying or something, and then they help him out, I think, and then Togepi gets lost. I think, is that the one? Togepi gets
like what
lost,
happened.
and they're trying to catch Togepi, and Togepi's dumb butt falls into like
That's
an
right.
Executor,
Uh-huh.
and the eggs evolve,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
bounces again, and they eventually get to it, and it was cool. It was fun. It was just like, I don't know, it's Togepi. You're following Togepi around. It's kind of like when you point a laser at the wall and the dog's just looking all over it. And you just kind of doing that.
Maybe we're not talking about the same one
Are
because
we
there's
not?
there's a bunch of different shorts that are like all Pokemon centric. And I know which one you're talking about, but I think I'm thinking of a different one.
maybe.
Because there's one that's like a giant, like they just literally go to like an amusement park for Pokemon, basically, or like a park or something. And they just like have a good time. But something, like there's always like some like dramatic, like something bad's going to happen and they have to like rally together to like fix it. And then they go back and Ash was like, oh, did you guys have a good time? Like,
yeah. I think that was a Togepi one.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Anyway, what else?
The one that comes to my mind is the Simpsons episode where they go to Itchy and Scratchy Land,
Okay.
where it's essentially Disneyland but for Itchy and Scratchy,
Right.
and then it's all a bunch of animatronics. But then something goes wrong with the system, and all of the animatronics try to kill the visitors, and so
It's like
they
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and they discover that the way to like shut down all the animatronic characters or whatever is to use disposable cameras, good old disposable cameras with the flash on, and it scrambles their circuits, and then they would die. And so it's just, oh man, it's such a good episode. Because they all have, it's Itchy and Scratchy, so they have like really dangerous weapons in their hands. Because it's like a satire on cartoon violence, and it's just, oh man, it's such a good episode. Don't know if I'd want to be them. Definitely entertaining.
Well, after thinking about it, I don't know if y'all liked it. I really liked this movie for some reason. The live action first, and the second one too, but I'm talking about the first one. First Scooby-Doo movie. Live action Scooby-Doo.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I remember liking it when it came out.
And it was the gang, they all go to Spooky Island, and I don't know if I'm going to
They're
ruin
staying in
it.
a giant resort place.
Yeah, it's huge, and I thought it was, well, first of all, in movies and all that stuff, no planning, like no buying tickets. You just, you're there.
It's like saving your money for like 3 years to afford it.
Yeah, don't worry about waking up to catch the plane. It doesn't matter. Like in there.
Except in Home Alone 2, then it does, or in the first one too, I guess. Then it does
what's
matter.
hilarious? I'm on Facebook right now, and look what just came up right when you said that.
It's Home Alone.
Thank you.
Which, sidetrack, Home Alone, the house. What did that do to afford a house that big? It's got like 10 rooms. They go on a vacation for like 10 people.
Oil and gas, man.
It's great.
Oil and gas.
That house was in
Chicago.
Houston. Oh,
Chicago?
Was it?
Steel,
Well, they
man.
lived in Chicago. I don't know where they filmed it.
No, I'm just saying, Houston's oil and gas. That's it.
Oil and gas.
But anyway, Scooby-Doo, yeah, they all get taken over by alien zombie cuckoo monsters.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. They take over the bodies and nobody's themselves, kind of like a vacation. And and they all come back and they leave kind of happy.
Like a vacation.
Like a vacation. And Mr. Bean's in it, right? That was the actor, though.
It's been so long.
He's got curly hair in there. And
Yeah, I think he is.
All I remember is the actor who plays Shaggy. Like, he's been in other stuff. Like, he's been in, like, some episodes of TV shows that I watched and stuff. But every time I see him, I'm like, oh, that's Shaggy.
Yeah.
He was in Scream.
Yeah.
Scream.
Yeah, but I didn't see that until after I saw
I remember.
Scooby-Doo.
He was in a movie with Angelina Jolie. I think it's called Hackers. Back when, like, Hackers
Yeah.
was... In that movie, they hack a computer through a payphone, I think. They start dialing numbers. They're taking over my system. It's like, oh no. And they're like, we got you, man. But in every other thing I've seen Shaggy, and he's some kind of druggie. Which, I guess, the real Shaggy.
Oh, yeah.
Because what were you going to say, Vince?
In Scream, when he dies, his last lines are, "Dude, I think I'm dying." That's what he says before he dies.
Something Shaggy would say.
"Dude, I think I'm dying."
Like, dude, I think I'm dying. And then the Scooby-Doo movie, he meets this girl on the plane, and she's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, my name's Mary Jane." He's like, "That's like my favorite name." Like, come on.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, like, somebody told me, or, like, I read that they were, like, all supposed to be high or whatever, and I was like, no! And I was like, no, that makes a lot of sense. So yours reminded me of the Tiny Toons movie. Did you ever... Do you even know what I'm
I
talking
know
about?
Tiny Toons is the Looney Tunes, but the baby version.
Well, because there's baby Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
and then there's Tiny Toons,
Oh,
which is
okay.
when they're like toddlers, I
Toddlers,
guess.
yeah. They've done a lot of spin-offs.
And so there's a bunch of different stories going on, but one of them is that Daffy, or the Daffy equivalent and the Porky Pig equivalent, they're going to like knock off Disneyland with Porky's family. And like there's a lot of shenanigans before they get there, but they finally do get there, and Daffy's like freaking out. Like, he's so excited to be there. And they go up the escalator and they do the like tour, like, you know, just like get the lay of the land, you know. Like there's a ride that's just a tour that goes around the park or whatever. And so they go and they do that, and he sees everything. He's like, oh, I want to go that, and I want to eat this, and I want to buy one of those. And they go and they get back, and he's like, okay, let's do this first. And they're like, nope, it's time to go. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know, he gets all upset because like he, you know, just didn't get to do anything. And they're like, nope, that's all we came for. Let's get out of here. And then they leave.
Sounds like one of my productive days. I need to do this and do that. Oh, it's time to go sleep. I can do that too.
Another one I was just thinking of, and I don't know why I'm talking about animated things, but
But not anime.
yeah, is a Goofy movie.
Oh, at first that movie.
How could I forget?
So they're going to, well, it's just like a fishing trip, right?
A fishing
That's
trip.
all it is. And yeah, there's just all this hijinks that they get up to, and Max, that's the kid's name, right?
Max.
I hated Max in that movie. He's so obnoxious.
He's an angsty teenager.
Yeah, I know.
He grows up.
Powerline.
That was
was
the
like-
dude's name.
It's like,
Powerline.
if we listen to each other's hearts.
And then what was the girl's name? Roxanne. right? That-
Roxanne or
Roxanne,
Roxy
yeah.
or something like that. And then he takes over an entire assembly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to put on a Powerline performance. And then his friend is voiced by, what's his name? That comedian who was like, look, it's the Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Yeah, I don't know who voices it.
I forgot
Oh,
that.
memories came surging back.
He's like, hey, buddy. That guy. Yeah, he talks like that.
What else? What about, did you guys ever see Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah.
Did we watch that
No, I
together?
didn't.
I don't
did
think
not see
so.
that.
So that's where Jason Segel breaks up with Sarah Marshall, and then he goes to Hawaii to like try and forget about her, but then she's also there. So she's Sarah Marshall's played by Kristen Bell, and she's a famous actress, and he's like a musician. He like writes like commercial jingles, I think it was. And then he meets Mila Kunis, who works at the hotel that he's staying at, and they start to get into a relationship. But then like Kristen Bell, she, like the guy who she left him for, breaks up with her, and then she like wants him back, but he's like, no, I want to do it with Mila Kunis, and
Oh, he didn't say no at first.
Love triangle.
that's true. But Russell
Bro.
no, not Russell
Oh,
Crowe.
Brand.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Hustle Brand.
Brand or brand?
Brand.
Raisin Brand.
Yeah, he's also in that movie. Oh, and Jonah Hill.
I forgot
And
about
Bill Hader,
Wow, they just had all of them.
basically.
I don't know who that is.
Bill Hader?
He's from SNL.
Did you ever see Hot Rod?
Yeah, you made me.
I love
Watch
that
it.
movie.
Yeah.
That's not my kind of humor.
I love
The
that
really,
movie
like,
so
the
much.
goofy kind of dialogue humor.
It's kind of like the guy that talks to the llama. What's his
Oh,
name?
Napoleon Dynamite.
It is
Yeah.
nothing like Napoleon Dynamite. You take that back.
That's kind of the same format to me.
What other vacation movies?
National Lampoon.
Yeah, I've only ever seen Christmas Vacation. I don't think I've ever seen any of the other ones. I think I saw the very end of, what's the one where they go to Las Vegas? Is that just like Vacation?
I think so.
Yeah, I've seen the very end of that because it was on like TV once.
Project X count.
No.
That's
Well, I mean, his parents go on vacation. So.
a vacation movie.
You know who kind of goes on vacation? This is the end. He's going to visit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He goes to see.
Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
That's a bomb movie. I
Uh-huh.
love that movie.
I never saw We're the Millers, but I know they would go on vacation in that one.
I've seen that, but I don't remember it so long ago. saw it first come out.
I think of anyone.
RV, that stupid
Oh.
movie you made me watch.
That is a great movie!
No, it was dumb. You said after we got done watching it that it was dumb.
But
See, he listens to you.
A very young Josh Hutcherson is in that movie, so... PETA from The Hunger Games.
He's in that movie? Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, he was young in that movie.
The Hunger Games, does that count as a vacation?
Sort of.
What about Shrek 2? Does that count as a vacation?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
What are we even talking about?
Far, far away.
Yeah.
They went far, far away.
Yep, they sure did.
Happy Feet? March of the Penguins. That's a good vacation one.
Look, he went away from the swamp in Shrek 2.
Yeah, he did.
And in Shrek 1.
Yeah, but not in a carousel.
That's true.
You know, Shrek 2 and Shrek...
What, you mean a carriage?
Yeah, I'm tired. They, yeah, that was a dumb carousel. Those movies are arguably better in Spanish.
I believe it.
They're so good in Spanish, it's
You
insane.
should do better in Spanish movies next time. We'll study up
The Lion King?
Lion King in
That's a good
Spanish.
Mufasa.
Mufasa in Spanish is Mufasa.
But Scar's name isn't Cicatriz.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
Scar.
Scar. What does that mean? No sé.
I'm really trying to think, but I don't know.
I can't. I think that's enough.
Simba goes on a vacation.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Little Mermaid goes on a vacation.
Yeah, to the land.
Frozen girl goes on a vacation.
Yeah, a very long vacation. Hannibal Lecter went on a vacation.
Actually, he does.
Yeah.
Like at the very end of the movie.
Yeah. Pick some brains towards the end.
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher. Brain teaser.
you and your puns,
Yeah.
man.
Lots of funs.
All right, well, whatever. That was. I enjoyed talking about it, so
As
it really
did
matter
I.
if we went off the rails.
I enjoy talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to our final segment of the show, which is, of course, Fan Fic Fights, aka the Kevin segment.
The Kevin segment.
Alright. So, this week, it's going to be Raiden from Mortal Kombat versus Thor from Marvel versus Shazam from DC.
We have it. It's perfect.
Okay.
I think we know who's who.
Ooh.
Really? No. You got a huge Thor statue
I have
on
two.
your fridge.
I have two Thor
on top
statues.
of the fridge.
Yeah, I do. He's next to a 5-headed dragon.
4.
He is. I'll be
No,
Thor.
it's pronounced Thor.
4. Okay, so I'm Thor. You're what?
Raiden.
You're Raiden, and you're
Shazam's
Shazam.
your favorite
Yeah.
one.
Okay, explain the rules.
Okay,
Fight.
so Fanfic Fights is our version of Death Battle from Screw Attack, except without all of the science. It's just who you think would win in a fight, verbally talk it out, say their powers, why they're better than the other person, and you just kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
But one at a time, don't, talk over each other.
All right. Who goes first? Rock, paper, scissors?
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Paper. Rock.
Paper, scissors. You both did rock.
Paper,
Paper, rock,
rock,
scissors. You win. You go
Gotcha.
first.
All right. Raiden. He can manipulate electricity. He's the leader of, I guess, the good guys in the Mortal Kombat gang, whatever they're called. The X-Axis powers. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they are, but
The Defenders of Earth
The
Realm.
Defenders of Earth Realm. He's Asian sometimes. Sometimes he's a white guy. I don't know. Depends on which movie you watch or which game you play. He can move forward in space and time. He goes, and then he just pushes you back to the edge of the screen.
Edge of the screen. Yeah.
In the pro scene, they call that his Superman move.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, because he goes like the...
Oh, yeah. He just punches it, but no more than the edge. What else does he do? Controls lightning. Did I say that?
Yeah.
I think I did. He's got this rice hat right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a bit racist, but
That's what it's called, the right
does
side.
the trick for Raiden. I guess that's how he manipulates the electricity. I don't know. Is there an aerodynamic thing for electricity? Like electrodynamic?
I think it's HBO with it. That's why he wears it.
He can teleport.
He can teleport. He throw... He's not very special. He's not.
He's really not.
Oh, he can just teleport and shoot lightning at his enemies.
Whatever.
But, that's all I got.
Okay, so for Thor, same powers as Raiden, essentially. Or Raiden? Raiden. So he can also manipulate electricity, but he has his hammer, Mjolnir. So it's like he's a 2 combo, because it always returns to him and no one else can wield it.
That's not true. But
well, you know what? I'm not talking about Beta Ray Bill. I'm not talking about anybody else. He wields it because he's worthy.
Well, when he lost it.
Yeah. What about when he lost it?
That was a bad day.
And that girl.
Okay. What?
And Vision.
I don't know, I feel like he would just have immunity to all electric everything because he's the god of thunder anyways, and he's got all these interdimensional, goonies that he can call on from Asgard.
Let's hope he feels that way too.
Feels that way?
He's gonna lose.
Oh. And his hair is nice.
It is.
And he does P90X. And so he's a pretty buff dude. He's
Thoriel.
He's Thoriel.
This is worth it.
He is worth it. That's all I got for Thor.
So, Billy Batson was on family vacation with his parents when he stumbled upon this ancient temple guarded by the wizard Shazam. And he was considered special enough to be granted the powers of Shazam. So he has the powers of a bunch of gods. There's like a whole like rhyme that goes to it that I don't remember, but he has like flight and super speed and super strength and super endurance and super knowledge. So basically you can just like do anything. And he also has the power to shoot lightning bolts. So he can fly, he can shoot lightning, he's super strong just like everybody else in this fight. So, that's all well and good. What sets him apart is that he's got magic on his side. Thor doesn't have magic, as he likes to call it. It's just science. And, Raiden is, just whatever. Like, I don't even know how that works.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, all of his lightning is magical, so I feel like it would be extra strong. As far as Thor being immune to lightning, I disagree because he's the god of thunder, and thunder and lightning are not the same thing. So I feel like like Mjolnir like draws in lightning, like I can get down with that. But I think that if you can get around that, if you shock him, it would still hurt him a lot. And then I think that Shazam is probably worthy enough to lift Mjolnir. Now, I'm not saying that's definitely true, but you can't prove that it's not true either.
Character?
I can't prove that it's not
I
true.
think Raiden can.
Yeah. I think Raiden can pick it up.
Why do y'all laugh? Why are you laughing?
His rice hat can pick it up.
What'd you just call me? If he can pick up rice, he can pick up milk.
And his, strongest, most powerful attack is that he can call upon the name of Shazam, which is how he transforms into his god form, and strike his opponents with the super blast of lightning, and that usually takes them out. So I really think Shazam would win this fight.
Rebuttal. In the new trailer of Thor Ragnarok, Thor is shown leaping out of a cloud, surging with lightning. I don't think lightning would hurt him.
Okay, well, if that is the case, if they're all immune to lightning, then it's going to come down to who can hit the hardest, and I think that Shazam is stronger than everybody else.
But I can teleport, and here, let me tell you why Raiden would win, alright? The only character that I could ever beat Mortal Kombat was with Raiden. I tried every character. Raiden could beat out all the magic people, the four-arm dude, Sub-Zero, and I don't know, Scorpion. He beat them all out. Boom. Knock him to the edge of the screen. Teleport. Done. All right.
To the top of the ladder.
And look, with the forearm guy is basically Thor.
Yeah, pretty much.
With 2 extra arms, and I don't know.
That's like 4 hammers.
It's like 4 hammers.
Okay, well...
Oh, we didn't start yet?
What?
Oh, that was I thought we had started.
We did.
Oh, okay. Cool.
No, I was going to say that was fun. We clearly didn't come to a consensus here, but we never do.
Can we argue? Oh, we don't. My bad. I wanted to win.
So we want to know who you think would win in this fight. So please send us an email to abcpodcast92@gmail.com, and we would love to hear from you. But that is it for this week's episode. So before we get out here, I'm going to get real for a minute here.
If you cry, I cry.
So, this is the official announcement. We're going to be going on hiatus from the podcast for a bit. I don't know how long it's going to be exactly, but I'm moving. I gotta, get up there. It's going to take a long time to unpack, and then I started classes. So I want to take at least a month, probably more like 2 months, to just like settle into my new routine up there and just get everything sorted out. Brandon and I haven't really talked about the future of the podcast and how that's going to work. I definitely want to keep it going. But I have, without me here to, kind of, force him to do it, I don't really know how it's going to work. But, I'll keep you guys updated. Just, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to say, I should do this more often, but like to everyone who listens to this every week, like, thank you. Like, I would... Thank you. This has been like so much fun for me. Like I never would have imagined how awesome this podcasting experience would be. It's meant so much to me. I know, I don't have a huge listenership, but everyone who does listen, like it means a lot to me. Especially you, Kenzie. You're the best. But
go Kenzie.
So thank you to everyone who listens. And a huge thank you to my wonderful co-host, Brandon. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me and putting up with me every week, taking all that time out of your super crazy schedule that I don't know how you live with. It's been a total blast. There's a very real possibility this might be the last episode of this podcast. Might be able to do it going forward. Might only be able to do it when I come home. This could be the end. I don't know what it's going to be, so I'm letting everybody know that, I don't know what's going to happen, but I will keep everyone updated. But regardless, just thank you. I've had tons of fun doing it. I know this won't be my last podcast for sure. Like if the ABC podcast ends, a few years down the line, I'll definitely start something else. This has been a heck of a ride, and I want to thank everyone who's shared in it with me. Armando, Vincent, Robin, Kenzie, Jasmine, Josh from Toys for Games. Had any other guests? Oh yeah, Michael and Emily and Eugene, of course, and everybody. I think that's everybody, but I could be forgetting everybody. Thank you all. It's been so much fun. I'm sorry that I'm being all sappy and whatever, but thank you, PETA. Yeah, so I'm...
your sister and brother.
Oh, yeah, John Paul and Catherine. They've also been guests.
Family, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm being, unusually emotional just because it's like a big transitional time for me, what with, leaving home and whatnot, so sorry. But, yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
That too. Getting married. That's important.
Well, that happened.
So anyway, I could keep going, but I'd just be rambling at this point. I've already repeated everything I've said like twice, I think. So I'll just leave it at that. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter at AtariAlex, and you can find Brandon on Twitter also by going into my bio and looking for his username. Is in there. Robin, you can also find her on Twitter by going on my timeline looking for a meme that has to do with a cat or marriage, and she'll be there. I know I say this every week, but given the uncertainty of the future episodes of the podcast, I really, really recommend subscribing so that you don't have to, keep going back to check. It'll just pop up in your feed whenever the next time I'm able to put up a new episode is. And you can find those links to both our YouTube and iTunes accounts by, again, going to my bio. I have links there. And we'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a comment or a review to let us know how we can improve. So yeah, I think that's everything. So thank you all for listening, and we will catch you all in the future.
We love you, Alex.
Guys, you're so hot. Bye.